Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Agent 46, who I believe is going to be an advanced token character coming to RTS. Visually we've never had an Agent 46 before. He's going to be joining the NOC, New Old California. As you can see by the art on his chest it says NOC. I like the visuals honestly here quite a lot. Quite nice. It looks a lot like Lady Z. Looks like a lot like Circuit in terms of what we see Ophelia, where it's got like circuit boards or like motherboards plugged into his shoulder pads. Then he has like controllers, like console controllers around his waist. Pretty cool, like references to the old times of the computer age, but obviously in the zombie apocalypse not so much anymore. He also has like circuitry drawn on his face. Really kind of cool visuals, as you can see on the left hand side in a bit greater detail. I like the get up quite a lot here. If we look at his stats at level 1440, limit break 3, he has got 36,809 attack, 16,871 defense, and 23,006 HP. He is a fast character. He's going to be a damage roll character as well. Of course, he's going to be a gold mythic, and like I said before, he is going to be joining the Allegiance New Old California. And I believe this would be the fourth. Is it the fourth character to join this Allegiance so far? And it's going to be another damage roll character, damage dealer, attack team character coming out in the game. Now the first thing we're going to check out is his Adrenaline Rush. It's called Strike Through. It's a 66 AP cost rush. This character gets 100% attack for 2 turns, attack a line of enemies for 400% damage. So pretty straightforward. It's going to be very, very powerful when it comes to the amount of damage output he's going to do, where he's going to obviously do much more damage than 400%, just because that buff on the 100% attack boost will come in before he does the hit. That is very worth noting, before he does the hit. It will also last into the next turn, and that next turn could be a basic attack or it could be the signature move, and that will also get a 100% attack boost as well. Generally speaking, attack boosts, when they last for 2 turns, have the first turn wasted because it's normally tacked on to the end of the skill, and that obviously uses one of the turns the turn it's actually actually cast. But this is going to be at the beginning, so it's actually going to be using it for the turn when it's cast, so it's actually going to be very beneficial here for Agent 46. Now something else that is worth noting when it comes to this Adrenaline Rush, it says attack a line of enemies for 400% damage rather than deal 400% damage to a line of enemies. So potentially this could attack each enemy separately, and it could potentially mean that weapon effects could come into account. Also potential that could be there for actually hitting critical attacks. We'll have to see when we test it out. Okay, so we're going to rush here, and we're going to rush this bottom line, and what we want to see is, does it do a line attack, or is it doing 2 separate attacks to a line? If it does a line attack, it cannot crit. It cannot take into account the weapon effects that are going to be on his actual attached weapon or any weapon you put into his hands, so on and so forth. It won't also be able to proc his specialist skill. So there are big benefits if it does 2 separate attacks. Let's see what it does. And it is going to do 2 separate attacks. As you see, 2 attacks come in, and that means they can crit. They can also take into account things like his weapon, so on and so forth. So if you look at the upgrades on this Adrenaline Rush, you can see at grade 3 it gets an upgrade where it attacks a line of enemies. So initially it's just a single target hit. You only need 1 copy to get the character to grade 3. And then at grade 5 it's going to be 2 copies of course. And then you're going to get that 100% attack damage boost on that rush. So initially it is going to attack a line of enemies for 300% damage each. And then it's obviously going to be improved to 400% damage each instead. Then lastly, at limit break 3, you're going to get 50% attack, and this is going to be the buff that comes in before he does the Adrenaline Rush, and it's going to go from 50% attack boost for 2 turns up to 100% attack boost for 2 turns. This obviously is going to be drastically improving the amount of damage output that he's going to be able to bring to the table. I like the fact that the attack boost comes out before the rush. It means it's obviously going to take full advantage of it for the rush itself, which is what you'd want. You'd want that for sure. But also, because of what I said before in terms of how long it lasts, generally speaking, you do lose a turn, but not in this case, which is great. I think this Adrenaline Rush is very nice. As much as it is extremely basic, the fact that it does attack 2 separate targets, and the fact that they can crit, and the fact that they can take into account things like combat mods, weapon upgrades, it's going to be very interesting to see what can be done here. Don't forget that if potentially he is a fast character, you can give him a 100% crit chance, and that means both of those will have a 100% chance to crit unless resisted. So that is going to be very interesting to see what kind of weapons people want to equip on this character. Now we'll go across to the signature move next, and we're going to see it's called Prudent Strategy. It is a turn 1 signature move for a cooldown of 1 turn, number of uses unlimited. This character gets 100% resistance to debilitating effects for 2 turns, make a critical attack against a line of enemies for 300% damage each. If the primary target is alert, attack the line of enemies an additional time. This potentially is going to be crazy. That's almost like doing Shane's signature move to 2 characters, and obviously it can crit each time, can use those weapon effects, so on and so forth. So yeah, the potential of this one is very, very high. The 100% resistance to debilitating status effects means that he can't be like stunned on defense, he can't be taunted, that sort of thing, unless a character is a control role character. They would obviously reduce that down to 60%, but that's still significantly higher than you're going to be able to get on a mod going up against a control role character in the same situation. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do 2 separate attacks. We're going to do it against the top line, and then we're going to do it against the bottom line where there is an actual alert character there. So the top line will just do it, and you're going to see 2 attacks come out, 1 against each character. It won't be too crazy, it should just be a pretty reasonable hit. In this case, it's taken off the majority of their bonus HP in this situation, and you're going to get some damage off. You know, we have got characters here, as you can see, that have like stun on defense and so on, but you can see all of the resists have gone on to our character, and it's actually going to be separate resists. So it even has normalize and daze and stuff in there as well, of course, because they are debilitating. So it's going to be a lot of resist potential on your character when he does his signature move. Now, if we go again, and this time we do it against the bottom line, what I want to see is if I target the backline character, and because the focus character is alert, does it do 2 separate attacks on the front character as well? We'll have to see what happens here. Keep an eye on how many attacks it does. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so it's going to do 2 on each character as long as there's an alert character in that line. So very, very high potential there. Again, weapons going to amplify this. Attack buffs would amplify it too. If I had the attack buff from his Adrenaline Rush the second time around when I do the signature move, because generally it's going to be signature move, basic attack, rush, and then after that I'd be able to do another signature move because of the cooldown, and that signature move right there would have a 100% attack boost. And we'll jump straight into the upgrades on the signature move, and you can see at grade 2 it gets a -1 to cooldown, so it goes from a 2-turn cooldown down to a 1-turn cooldown. At grade 4 it gets plus 50% debilitating effect resistance, so initially it would be 50%, and now it's going to go up to 100%. But this is going to be off of grade 4 again. This is just 1 copy, so that's going to be pretty straightforward. Limit Break 1 is where you're going to get the boost, and that's going to be 3 copies of the character -1 starting cooldown, and that means it will go from a 2-turn starting cooldown down to a 1-turn starting cooldown. Obviously, I think that's quite important, but it's only important if you're going to have a very speedy Agent 46, where you could potentially have him rushing turn 2. But obviously, he's going to be doing more damage if he can get that signature move off nice and early as well, of course. Limit Break 3 is going to be an upgrade where if the primary target is alert, attack the line of enemies an additional time. This is honestly one of the best upgrades I've ever seen. And it's kind of interesting because, like I said, it only has to be the actual focus target, not the actual line. So you could potentially get double attacks off of against like actual characters like, let's say, in a tough character where you're going to get guaranteed trait damage there. And that's going to be improved damage output as well, which is very, very nice indeed. So I kind of think this signature move is very interesting and kind of exciting when it comes to, you know, attack team stuff. I think there's not too much exciting stuff coming out for attack teams when it comes to like specialist skills and stuff like that. A lot of that's on the defensive end. So new kind of tech on the attack teams when it comes to how things work, and amplification potential is very nice indeed. He's going to be very good against anybody, but against alert characters, especially in a line, you know, it's going to be very, very nice indeed. Extra attacks, extra crit potential, extra weapon proc potential. It's all down to what weapon you want to put in his hands. Okay, so we're going to be doing a giveaway on this video as well, guys. As usual, you have to write the entry phrase in the comments down below as part of a wider sentence. I would definitely do it as part of the sentence, otherwise YouTube could spam your comment and it doesn't actually count towards as an entry. And the phrase you have to use is going to be Hitman. You know, anyone probably gets the reference here. Please leave that as part of a bigger comment down below. Like I said, best of luck. And now back to the video. Now next up, we're going to look at Agent 46 Mythic abilities, and of course these are his passives. He has got agility where he'll get plus 20% increase in basic attack damage on every single hit that he does on his rush, signature move and basic attacks. The next one is called Death Pays. When an enemy is decapped, 100% chance 2 teammates get 75% Halo for 2 turns. Now he has got a specialist skill where the decap's going to be high potential. So that obviously means that that Halo is going to be very nice indeed. And it just randomly going on to teammates. I'm not actually sure how Halo works, if it goes on to someone with the lowest HP. But regardless, as long as it actually goes on to someone, that's very nice indeed. And it could potentially, you know, proc 4 times if his rush or signature move do kill 2 characters. Next up is called Quick Demise. This character's beheading specialist skill triggers 20% sooner. Now the base on beheading is going to be 20%, so this will be 40% HP, and they're going to be instantly decapped. This is kind of like Ghost's passive. I think Ghost is 15% sooner, so it's just going to be a little bit more of an improvement over Ghosts. And then lastly, it is going to be Flexible Killer. Trait mods are 40% more effective on this character, and this basically means attack versus. And generally speaking, on damage dealers, you do want to go for at least, well, you're definitely going to go for 1 attack versus, but a lot of the time you would go for 2, and that means that the ones that you actually go for are going to get a 40% attack, like actual boost on the number that you see. So if you have a Paragon mod that has a 70% attack boost against, let's say, alert characters, which is going to work very nice with that signature move, I think that would potentially be boosted up to 98% attack versus, because it wouldn't be a flat increase. I'm pretty sure this isn't a flat increase. It's a 40% increase of the mod's power itself. And that would just be plus 28% in that case. But still, very nice indeed. Now you can see when someone gets a boost from a mod in this situation, because when we equip it, you can see it gets a little arrow next to the percentage. It doesn't actually show what the boost is, but it is just signifying that the boost is actually coming into play. And just to show you how that Halo works as well, if I do the bottom line characters and I decap both of these characters, there should be 4 teammates, as you can see, all 4 teammates with Halo on the first turn, 2-turn Halo. That means that, let's say I was to come up against a payback character here, I could freely nuke that payback character, maybe take out some of my teammates, but know that they're going to get picked up as long as I get a turn before the battle ends. This could be a nice little trick to get past those paybacks as well. Now looking at the upgrades on the passives, you can see he gets Death Pays Part 1 at grade 1, where he gets 50% chance to give 2 teammates Halo for 2 turns when he gets a decap. He gets Agility Part 1 at grade 2, and then he gets Death Pays Part 2 at grade 3, where it'll be 100% chance 2 teammates get Halo for 2 turns when he gets a decap. Then at grade 4 is the first half of Quick Demise, where this character's beheading specialist skill triggers with 10% sooner, so that's actually quite nice. It's just half of the power. At grade 5, Flexible Killer comes in, where trait mods are 20% more effective on this character. So pretty much the same situation where it's just half the power again. And then we move on to the limit breaks, and you can see Agility 2 comes in at limit break 1. And limit break 2, Quick Demise 2 comes in, where it makes it a 20% boost on that specialist skill. And at limit break 3, we're going to get Flexible Killer 2, making trait mods equipped to this character 40% more effective. Don't forget, you can equip up to 2 trait mods on any character, and it does feel like doing 2 attack versus on this guy is a good idea, just to take a full advantage of that passive. So these passives are pretty interesting. They are just like little amplifications here and there. It is kind of interesting to see how it's going to work. The actual specialist skill boost is going to be very, very nice indeed. You know, if you've got a character with 150,000 HP and then they are down to 60,000, you're going to be able to instantly take them out at 60,000 HP. And there are quite a few characters where that can happen. You know, you've got your Payback Peacekeeper, and then you've got your Nor as well with very, very high base HP. So that's very doable. I like that quite a lot. I think a lot of people utilize that on Ghost already, and this is just going to be a little bit more powerful as well. I think things where it gets boosted to like mods and weapons are very nice, where it comes to stat mods, trait attack versus in this case, or trait defense versus, and then like weapon percentages. I like those boosts that we sometimes see on characters, and generally speaking on a damage dealer, it's up to you which ones you want to utilize as well. You basically can switch it out as you wish in the long term, which again is nice. He isn't locked in to only be against specific traits other than the fact that he is fast. Now, just to quickly touch on that specialist skill, it is going to be a dual specialist. When this character lands the killing blow on a target, that target is decapped and cannot be revived. When this character attacks a target that has 20% HP or less, that target will be immediately taken out. And obviously we know that's going to get a boost of up to 40%. So that's going to be a 40%, and he'll instantly take them out. But they'll also instantly be decapped as well, because he's taking them out, and it actually counts the first half as well. That's how this specialist works in general, but it's going to be quite majorly boosted for Agent 46 here. Now for the hidden part of Agent 46 kit. I haven't been using this on the test that we've been showing, and it is Agent 46 Secret Arm Blade. It is a really cool looking weapon, honestly. 40% attack, a huge bonus to AP when attacking, improved strong attacks plus burn. When attacking, a 60% chance to attack with the stronger trait against the enemy, and deal 9% of this character's attack stat in burn damage for 2 turns. Then in the 4th slot, it's improved trait advantage, increased trait advantage damage by 25%. Now, I'm pretty sure the way the 3rd slot works is it basically changes this character to effectively be attacking as if he's the trait that the other person is weak to. And basically that would also mean that he's going to be able to double down. If you, let's say you were attacking an alert character and you had an attack versus alert in the combat mods, and this procced, it would take into account the 3rd slot here and the fact that it would effectively change his trait to tough. But it'll also take into account the fact that you have the combat mod attached, and obviously it'll be boosted by that passive on top. Then the burn would be coming in as well, which would be pretty significant. Not like totally crazy, but 9% is going to be pretty decent. And then that last slot will potentially boost any sort of trait damage that he's going to do, be it from those combat mods, be it from this 3rd slot from proccing, be it from his base when it comes to the fact that he is fast. So that is very nice overall in terms of the kind of trait output that he's going to do. So we'll test this out, and you'll see little markers pop up just to show trait damage is actually being done instead of like non-trait damage. Okay, so we're going to attack again, and this time we have got the correct weapon equipped, and we have also got a different leader just so that we don't have any burn resist, to see the kind of number that we can get. This is off base, so it's obviously going to get higher. Now if you see a strong pop-up on the damage for Martinez, or a tough pop-up for the damage on Nor, that means that the weapon in the 3rd slot has procced. So the first hit's going to come in, then the second hit there's a strong proc, and it's going to be one of the 4 did actually proc. Now if I did my command just to get him to rush, we'll see if what kind of burn numbers have we got so far. It did proc once, so we've got 6,000. It's just going to be a little bit extra. Like I say, the higher his attack, the better it's going to be, and also take into account his attack buff as well. So if he was to do his signature move after the attack buff, he'll get a 100% boost. We're going to have the attack come in. That was surely going to be a tough hit and then a strong hit. So you can see the amount of damage improvement that it's going to have because of that potential proc is very nice. And then the burn will go to the next character, and now it effectively gets doubled because of the 100% attack boost that came in when he did those attacks, and they did proc. And don't forget, because he has separate attacks and they can crit on everything in his kit, rush, signature move, then obviously that weapon can proc with everything he does as well. Now when it comes to the upgrades on this weapon, I think it's pretty simple. You just want to go for plus 5% attack 3 times and make that 55% attack. So that's it for the preview of Agent 46, and he is looking extremely interesting. He just visually alone, I was just like blown away, honestly. He looks really cool. Something extremely different than what we've seen in the game before. Even with the NOC characters that we've already seen, I think this is like opening up the potential for like a proper NOC group that people would want to see, honestly. The breastplate and everything looks really, really cool. But when it comes to his kit, I like the fact that everything can crit. I like the fact that everything can proc that weapon. I think you can get a lot of procs off of those skills, the passives in there as well. The big boost on the specialist skill as well on top is very nice. Obviously, you don't have to use the weapon he's got in his hands. You could swap out that 4 slot and go for a 100% crit chance instead. You've got a lot of choices when it comes to what he's going to do, what he brings to the table. But I do like the potential like trait magnification like stack as well. It stacks like up to like 3 times in some cases. And that is going to be massive boost to the amount of damage output that Agent 46 is going to have here. If you team this up with the right character, you know, you've got base attack boosts coming in with like Dale on his weapon. You can get nice attack boosts even off of the first turn with that signature move. And that is a massive hitting signature move. 300% crit guaranteed is really, really high. But what are your thoughts on Agent 46? Do tell me what you think about his visuals, what you think about his weapon, just the visuals on the weapon alone. Reminds me of like a Judge Dredd character. I can't remember the name. I think it was like it was a bad guy. It was a bad guy. But if anyone has any thoughts on this character, like I say, leave them in the comments down below. Best of luck if you entered the giveaway. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.